Welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. Sorry about that. How you doing? Welcome. Beautiful day. I was going to continue with number 7 of the Pure Energy Healing course online, free on here, but I probably got about 7 or 8 messages in the past couple of months, and it's very, very profound subject. I have tackled it before, but I think it's important we go into it again because things are changing right now. Things are happening for many reasons. As you all know, life, like anything else in the world, always attacks everything. Something's always attacking something, whether it's family members attacking each other, whether it's little insects attacking plant life. There's always something to attack something. It's the way of the world. The lion attacks the gazelle, and there's always that need to survive. And that's another story. The story that I'd like to talk about today is the fact that we are being hijacked moment by moment, and many things are happening to us as a species, and it looks almost like we may become extinct one day by the way we are behaving and the way we are. But on an individual level, if we learn how to cleanse and clear, if we learn how to accept, if we learn how to forgive, my God, imagine that. If we learn how to widen our understanding of life, we become more wiser in empathy. If we learn how to awaken the true gifts within us, we start to understand a little bit more of life. Now, to do that, we have to first start at the very beginning. And one of the that I found fascinating subjects is cleansing and clearing away trauma, blocks, negative energy, things that we've been programmed to. So as mothers do our best to help our children, there's always issues within our children because of the programming, because of what's in the air, because of what's in the water, because of what's in the non-foods that we normally eat. Even if we look after them so well and we try and treat them and choose the right foods and the right water, and there's always trauma within children. Now, one of the aspects I'd like to talk to you today about is none of those things. It's about something completely different, but it's quite powerful. And that is, why is it that crystals change their form? So, I guess if I start when the first moment of holding a crystal and working with it without realizing, and laying it on top of my clients' bodies without realizing why. Never even heard of crystal healing prior to that, didn't know what it meant, just had this stone in my hand and found myself laying it on a client, and finding myself bewildered over the days, weeks and months to see that I was grabbing a crystal that I thought was the crystal I used to work with, and now it's not the same. And pondering, where's my crystal gone? And well, I've only got 15 crystals. That's the only K2 I've got, or that's the only moldavite I've got at the moment, and it looks different. It's lost colour, changed shape, lots of things, like weird things. And I think I spent a lot of the times really fighting with myself, trying to say you're actually, there's something wrong with you. You're losing the plot. There's something wrong with your mind. And I went through that. I really did. I thought, oh, stop it, Mark. It's you. You just saw it differently. But as the years went by, I came to the conclusion. No, I came to the point where I accepted that actually crystals change form. They can change form within seconds. They can change form within days. They can lose its colour. It can gain its colour. It can change forms from within with different, things can actually appear almost like, a crystal decides to become, two crystals, the matrix of the crystal changes. Everything changes about it. It's weird, really, really weird. So that was one aspect. That took about 3 years to kind of digest, accept, and just move on. Now, from that moment on, clients were coming to me saying, my crystal's not the same. And like I'm like, oh my God, okay, the first thing you think is it's fake and it's been in the sun. Or, something's happened and, so you're looking for explanations. You're ringing up the people who buy for you and you're saying, is this really genuine or is it a fake? And could it be that the sun's, completely taken away its colour? So it's now almost like a clear quartz rather than what it was before. Anyway, all of these things happened and absolutely not. The crystal was a crystal and it's changed its form. It's changed its shape slightly. It doesn't look the same anymore. So skip forward now to about 14, 15 years on after working with all of these crystals, and what do I understand about this? What is my knowledge, my experience of crystals? What does it tell me after working with thousands of clients with crystals? What would you say, Mark? Well, for all those people who get frightened, first of all, don't be frightened. It's actually a miracle. It's actually something so profound that if science could see this, science would then turn around and say, this is fabulous. We need to look into this. We need to spend 5-10 years looking into this because there's something within this moment, this phenomena that happens. So basically, there are many different reasons why a crystal changes its form. And I'll go through a few of those things. I can't spend all day, but I can go through a few of them. So I can tell you, I had and by the way, sometimes they can break as well. They can crack, they can break, and they can just splinter and shatter. So these are also other things. So you imagine, I really don't know how to. When you were at school, right, and you went and you bought ice sticks. There were different coloured ice sticks. So what you'd do is you get this ice stick filled with the ice and the colouring, which is a bad example, but you cut it and then you sucked it until there was nothing left in it. But as you were sucking away, the colour was coming out of there and it was going into you. And what was left was the ice. And that was a transparent colour, right? It's like water, it's transparent. So you end up with something, but not the whole thing, because the whole thing has digested into you. That's kind of like the way I see it, but forget about the E numbers and all that. I'm talking about the purity of the crystal, how it's been grown, how it's been given to you, and how then your body digests that. Does that happen all the time? It's very rare. It's very rare. In my whole work over these years, I may have seen it about 20, 30 times. So that's 0.0001% of it happening to you. Does it alter to the point that you don't see? Yes, that's the whole thing. It's sometimes so subtle that's 99% of the times your crystal changes, but very subtly, so you don't see it. So that's one scenario. The other scenario that I saw was when somebody was in great pain and suffering, the crystal would change formation and work with the client for certain reasons, whether that's on a pointer level, whether that's on some kind of level that we just don't understand. But I did see the pointers, the clusters, I saw the change. in shape and how like that pointer didn't look like that before. So there is some kind of reaction between the I wouldn't say the physical, but I would say the spiritual. Something activates and awakens the crystal. So my understanding of crystals is that they are alive. A lot of people argue the fact that they're not. And I get this, I have conversations with people and I say, well, why would it change? And a lot of people say, well, because of the, a bit like a piece of wood. If you get a piece of wood, cut it and put it into another country, it expands and cracks because of the atmosphere. That's a good point. But for a crystal, in my opinion, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. It could have something to do with it, but it's funny how. I give you an example because I have to go on example. There were 3 pieces of moldavite that a client bought off me, and each piece something happened to. Now I'd understand it if your argument was that's because of coincidence and because the temperature and that person just happened to be that person that happened to. And I say, okay, but why did it happen 3 times to one of my clients? So I gifted 3 moldavites and each moldavite cracked in the middle. Oh, they must have dropped it. No, she I said, that's not true. No, she never dropped it. I know her very well. And she would tell me straight away she hasn't got a lying bone in her body, and she'd be happy to pay straight away. And I gifted them and she just said, Mark, it's cracked. 3 times, 3 different places. One was from Maliclum, one was from Bessanitz, and one from Clum. So they were all different moldavites. I had another client who had a son, and this was about the 5th year, maybe 6th or 7th year of working. And the little boy had massive trauma. Okay, so his father had, I think, passed. Was it? Well, it may have been part of it, but I think the trauma more was the mother not accepting the father's passing. So I think it could be a combination of both, but I think mainly it was watching the mother suffer. That suffering went into the child. The child then got a piece of malachite that I sent. They were traveling at that particular point, and they were going to another country. They didn't want to stay, and I think it was Guatemala. They didn't want to stay there no more, so they wanted to move somewhere else. So I sent a piece for the son, and the son wore it, and the piece shattered. It just broke. Now, granted, it's a very, very delicate crystal, and it can do, but this happened on 2 occasions. It shattered again. So same with K2, and I think last 2 weeks ago there was somebody else who said that their crystal broke as well. And what was their crystal? I think it was a piece of lapis. So granted, they're kind of like stone, but still. And then I think this week somebody mentioned, maybe yesterday, somebody mentioned that their piece of K2 has lost its colour. And like I said, it's like the ice pop. It goes into the child or the adult, and it's absorbed in a certain way. It's fascinating. I mean, most people think it's crazy, but what I've seen, I can certainly say there's something in it. There's definitely something in it that we should be aware of. And I quite like the fact that I realize that crystals are alive. They don't die. You take them away from the mother stone, from earth, and they're still alive. They're still working. They're still growing. There's still something incredible in crystals. And one of the things that I find fascinating is the more memory you put into the crystal of positivity, the more it becomes alive, the more it grows, the more it becomes and changes and becomes amazing. So there's something in that. There's positive and negative, and the crystal reacts either or. So The problem we have as humans is that when we see change, we see as a negative, or we see fear. We attach it to fear. So if something's changed, you feel as if something's gone or lost, or you've lost something and it's never going to come back. But actually, something's evolving, something's changing. The caterpillar becomes the butterfly. And so instead of seeing things in a negative, you should always see it in a positive. And it's beautiful the way you would see a carving out of wood. And the older it gets, the more it has this beautiful, unusual patina that nobody can copy. It's just so authentic. When you see an old Chinese cup that's been cracked and then put together by amazing work, and you look at it and think, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's cracked, but look at it. It tells a story. It's been through something, it's incredible. I don't see negative in crystals that have changed. I see a positive, because you might think, okay, well, all the goodness has come out of it. Not necessarily. Maybe that is equally as important now to continue the journey. However, there's always that within me that says, listen, don't worry. I send you another piece, keep working with this one. And then sometimes you get people say, oh, well, this one hasn't changed. What does that mean? And it's like, look, there is no answer to crystals. There's no ABC, because you are a unique expression of energy. And that energy shifts and changes daily, moment by moment. So how you're feeling, what you're going through, what comes out, what purges, what detoxes, has a lot to do with how your crystal works with you. And ultimately, guys, I've always said this, the crystal chooses you, and it always works alongside you. Never gives up on you, always stays with you, always happy on you, no matter where you put it, and it always wants you to use it. And yes, it changes, it grows, it adapts, it loses its hair like we do, it changes the skin colour, we go darker sometimes as we get older, or lighter, or crystals are the same. They're a living entity that are here to help us. So that's a little tiny 15-minute workshop to make you think a little bit, and never ever bring doubt or fear or worry when your crystals change. For me, I get happy, I smile, I'm joyful, I'm excited, and I just want to know what's happened. So if you've been through this, if you've gone through this process, please share it with other people and let other people see that this isn't a charlatan speaking. This is real truth, that crystals are super alive, intelligent, powerful, and they have this energy that heals and strengthens us daily. Okay, thank you so much. I'm just going to remind you all of two things. Firstly, in the next few days, we will have the raffle for the €2,000 Moldavite. If you want to be in that raffle, click below at markbajerski.com and buy any audio book or any ebook to enter into that raffle for this beautiful, genuine crystal. And if you want to be entered into a raffle for the tray full of crystals, which is over here, talking about K2, as we were just talking about K2, there's a beautiful piece right here. That gorgeous? We just talked about that. So, I mean, there must be over 3,000-4,000 plus of euros of crystals here. If you want to be involved in this raffle to win all of this, then simply go to markbajerski.com, link below, and just buy a crystal. If you buy yourself one of my crystals, you will receive a ticket. That ticket will go into a jar, and in, I think, 3 days, something like that, I'm going to do the raffle for all of this. Okay, guys, I'm going to go get back on with work. I think I'm going to do number 7 of the Pure Energy Healing online free course. All right, have a great day. Good luck. Good luck.